What's up, Kissables? I am the Kissable Diva. I am your love coach and your date night expert. I plan dates for busy couples. Thank you so much for listening to the Kissable Nights podcast, where we talk about everything love, sex, and relationships after dark. I know it's been a couple of Sundays, y'all, but since the holidays, it has been really, really crazy. And some of the shows that I had set up for you did not go as planned, but that's life. We have a couple more. We are in December, and we have, I want to say, 4 more weeks, or we're 3 and some days, weeks. About 4 more weeks left in December, and we are rolling out of 2018 into 2019. I hope that y'all are already, anything that you want to put in place, you're already planning to put in place for your 2019 year. On tonight's show, I'm just going to give a little bit of tips for couples that are on the move and, you know, with the holidays and with family, and, you know, where you could just find those little pockets of relief with each other or yourself. Sometimes you need to take a woosah moment for yourself and just collect yourself, as always. Sometimes we just need to learn how to do that instead of just give, and until you don't have anything to give anymore, and then, you know, you're exploding on people because you didn't take a moment to collect yourself. So tonight I'm just going to go ahead and give you 3 tips on what you can do as a couple that can help you through the holidays, through December. So, with that being said, I also wanted to give you date night of the week as well. So we'll be doing that towards the end. I'm going to try to give you a date night of the week every week so that you can, you know, have an option, or put it in, you can put it in a date night jar. If you don't have one, create one. It's real simple, out of a mason jar. And popsicle sticks. You can write your date night on there and randomly pick it out. So that's just a tip for those that, you know, didn't know about that. So anyway, getting through December, the holidays, the end of the year, and really the plan for next year, you should not wait until December to say, I'm going to start this in January. Anything new that you want to start, you don't have to wait until January to do it. You can start now. Make those plans out now to start making those changes that you want to make for yourself and for your relationship, you two as a couple, or you alone by yourself. So one of the tips that, we're just going to get right into it. One of the tips that I thought about when I was kind of researching this for the holidays or for the month of December, because, you know, you do have some people that do not celebrate the holidays in December, none of the holidays, or they celebrate the variation of the different holidays. And you know, they still, you know, people still have family, they still go visit family that do celebrate it. So this could still be something that you can apply even if you don't. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about was talk about your frustrations before the family gathering. So you don't want to be frustrated. You're already coming down to the end of the year, depending on what type of job that you have. It may be more demanding. The kids are more demanding with projects. I notice a lot of projects are due before the end of the quarter, things like that. I noticed that with my daughter. And you want to make sure that you take the time to express your frustrations, anything that you feel that you can talk about and resolve. Because once you get in front of family and someone says a trigger word or you start having a little bit too much eggnog or Crown Royal or Hennessy or whatever it is that you may sip every now and then, a little Moscato wine, whatever it is, whatever spirit that you may take on, sometimes your frustrations come out. And it's not for your spouse, but it's for your spouse and your family too. And sometimes it just is not the right place to to come out with all of your frustrations at that time. You know, you can't even enjoy your family. You can't even enjoy the moment because of whatever's on your mind that you did not talk about before getting around the family. So I think that if you were to talk about any frustrations that you're having, whether it be something that's not being done, with the house, it could be as simple as you wanted the house painted before you started hosting the family, or certain things that you wanted done with the house. Sometimes people need a plan. Sometimes, you really, before we get to December, we should have been talking about this before. If you're like, something like getting the house ready, or, if you're hosting for the family or something like that. But if there's issues going on in the relationship, or things that you feel that need to be discussed, you don't want to wait until you get in front of family to start blurting out all the things that's wrong, when you could have done that before, or could have been working on that beforehand. So that's one tip. Make sure to take the time to express your frustrations, anything that you are concerned about. Make sure to do that with your partner before your family gatherings. I mean, you just don't want to be the bulletin of 2018 Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday it may be. You just don't want to be the bulletin. So just make sure that you are discussing whatever you need to discuss with your partner before your family gathering. So your second tip for the month of December, which I feel like is something that should have already been planned, but sometimes we don't do that because we're busy. We are so busy. And sometimes you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But since we're in the beginning of the month of December, you may want to plan out your financials, right? The number one thing that's the cause of couples separating, divorcing, it's not the number one thing, but it's up there on the list, is money, financials. And a lot of people that I have met in my life have absolutely been broke after Christmas, or after December. It's like January, they're scrambling to get themselves back together, or they have made such huge purchases to where they are limited to what they can purchase or buy. It's a lot of stress, especially when it comes to financials and not being able to pay the things that need to get paid. It's a lot of stress. So you want to have plans, have limits of how much you're going to spend for the children. Most moms, they shop throughout the year, and they hide the toys throughout the house. And then when it comes down to December, they already have everything that they're going to give their child. Some parents just give their child a certain amount on a card to where, they could spend it. But however you choose to do it, make sure you plan the financials. Plan it out, have limitations if you need them. And I mean, I think everybody needs limitations, but that's just me. But, plan it out, have limitations, and that way you won't feel like you've spent your whole life savings and built all this money to your credit card because of trying to, purchase all these gifts and do all this for family and this, that, and the other. Just plan. You guys, just plan. It just makes life so much easier if you just plan. So the third and final thing that I want to tell all my Kissables out there, in the midst of everything of decorating, buying gifts, getting food for family, flying family here, setting up hotel rooms, whatever it is that you're doing for family, it is so many variations of how people spend time with each other, especially in December. Make sure that you take a moment with your significant other and have a date night. On an odd night, do a date night, have something that you two can just do together, whether it's that 30-minute or that 45-minute or to an hour. Please take that time, because you don't want to be so busy that you forget about each other. You don't want to be so busy that you forget about each other. And that's another thing. Like if you do that and then you get in front of family and you really frustrated when you have not had that moment with your partner where it can help you. Because sometimes being with your partner helps you regroup. It helps you get back to self. Sometimes, your partner can do that for you. And that's absolutely a jewel when you have that. But having that moment, taking that moment when you're so busy. And it doesn't only apply to just the month of December or to, around the holidays. That's anytime, especially if you have a very, very busy schedule, the both of you. If you have very, very busy schedules, stop, take the time, and regroup with just the two of you. It is the best breather from your norm. So take those tips and apply those for the month of December, and hopefully it will make it much smoother for you. Talk about your frustrations before the family gathering. Make sure that you plan the financials. Hopefully you've done that before December has come around. And make sure you take those special moments with each other. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is. Take the moment with each other. It'll make a world of difference. So those are my 3 tips for you guys for this evening's show. Thank you so much for sticking with me and listening. I really appreciate that. And we're going to go ahead on to your date night of the week. So, date night of the week. Try something you have never done before. Try something new. One of the things you can try, I'm saying try something new, but everybody has their different levels of newness, right? So how about act like a tourist in your city? They have like little small that you can use in the city, bikes, or some cities have the water ducks where they're like a bus on land and then they're a boat on water. Take a tour of your city. Act as a tourist in your city. It is a very different experience, and being around people who have never been in your city or they're used to being visiting your city, being around those people kind of help you appreciate or have a different perception of where it is that you live. Because sometimes we just work, and we take the time out for ourselves, but not really. We just kind of hit that restaurant, that particular activity. We hit here, there, and everywhere, but we never really explore it from someone who has never been to our city before. So try that. And if you don't like your city, try the city next to you. Act like a tourist in your city. So that is your date night of the week. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's podcast. It is short and sweet, but I hope that you can use those 3 tips that I provided for you, as well as the date night of the week. We will be having a guest our next show, so look forward to that. Thank you so much for listening. You are now tuning into the Kissable Nights podcast, where we discuss everything love, sex, and relationships after dark. Thank you so much for listening. I am your love coach, the Kissable Diva, and I'm playing dates for busy couples. Thank you so much for listening, y'all. Make sure to keep it kissable, and you have a great night. Peace.